Hey guys, it's John from Total Brohammer, and today we're looking at some more chaos. So, earlier today we discussed the Dragon, Ogres, and Hound from the Monsters and Beasts section of the Chaos roster, and now we're going to be going over Chaos Spawn and Armored Trolls. So, Armored Trolls have some usefulness, Chaos Spawn much less so. Very few matchups where I actually suggest bringing them, maybe against Beastmen that we are fighting today, maybe against Skaven. Not many other factions I can think of off the top of my head that I'd suggest them against. Alright, but as for my army, I've got a front line of intermixed Chaos Marauders with Great Weapons and Chaos Marauders, 3 and 2 respectively. Sorry, 2 and 3 respectively. I've also got 2 Chaos Trolls armored, and 3 Chaos Spawn, including the Weird Spawn. Now, the Weird Spawn are the Regiment of Renowned Chaos Spawn. They have armor sundering, so they decrease anything that they hit in melee by 30 armor for 10 seconds. And they also have a physical resistance of 15%. Not to mention they look a little bit cooler than the other ones. They have a much less flesh-colored thing going on here, and I'd say that's far less disgusting. Anyway. Besides that, we've also got 2 groups of a Marauder Horseman and Marauder Horsemaster over here, and Sothril the Everwatcher with Searing Doom, Plague of Rust, and Transmutation of Lead. Over on the Beastman side, he has a front line of Korok's Manrippers along with 2 Bestigor Herd accompanied by Morka the Shadowgave and a Brave Shaman of Death with Spirit Leech and Fate of Bina. He's also accompanied by an Ungor Raider with shields. Over on his left flank, he has 2 Synagor with great weapons. And on his right, he has the same thing, except one of those is the Sons of Goros, and he also has an additional Ungor Herd. So let's go ahead and kick it into full gear here. So, seeing this, I know this is not all his army, so I'm expecting a bunch of Synagors, which is exactly why I have all these Marauder Horsemen. They're going to be very good in that regard. I see these Ungor Herd right here. I'm going to decide to go ahead and take them out. The rest of my army is headed over this way. I'm going to decide to stop my army. I don't want to split everything up. I see these Synagors are behind us, so we're going to go ahead and start throwing into them. Now, regular Synagors only have 35 armor, so they're going to take a lot of damage from the Horsemasters especially, and even the Chaos Marauders here. My Chaos Spawn and Chaos Marauder with Great Weapons are moving to intercept these guys. Chaos Spawn will do very good against Synagors. They are armor piercing. They don't have the best stats. Chaos Spawn do very high damage against lightly armored targets, which the Synagors are. To note, the Sons of Goros have 70 armor instead of 35. But they're also unbreakable, so that will not be a good trade or a good use of a Centaur at all. Let's go ahead and put it back in the full gear here as I retreat, and he retreats. Looks like we lost one Horsemaster there. His Synagors are going to come out of the forest on the right side as well. And we're going to have these Chaos Spawn just chase these guys off for just a little bit. We're going to drop a Searing Doom on these here Ungor Raiders, and they are not long for this world. Over here, his Synagors are lining up for the charge. We, however, are going to countercharge, and I don't think it's going to be that great for him. That great of a move. So we're gonna have our trolls countercharging them. We do not get the countercharge over here, so he is gonna get a good charge on our Chaos Spawn. But like I said, if he can cycle charge the Chaos Spawn, he'll be fine. But he definitely doesn't want to stay in prolonged combat. Now, I was trying to retreat a little bit, trying to not fight his back line and the front line at the same time and get surrounded. But we're going to do the same thing to him here that he's doing to us. So as you can see, the Marauder Horsemasters and Horsemen are coming this way since he has pulled his Synagors way off. And since these guys are stuck in melee with trolls and whatnot, we're actually going to go into melee to keep them pinned down. Look at these guys' health. Already half health lost. We only lost a third of the health on the trolls, not to mention they regenerate. So this is definitely not a good trade for him. The Synagors fear off. These Synagors are going to be feared off as well. We're popping a overcasted Final Transmutation over here as Morka the Shadowgave drops his own Chaos Spawn in here. And one thing to note that I just learned as I was watching the replay, Transmutation of Lead. So it decreases melee attack, so they only have 14 melee attack, which is actually lower than Chaos Marauder's melee defense. So these Bestigors are not going to be hitting. But the thing I want to point out here, it decreases weapon damage by 50%. Look at the Bestigor's weapon strength right now. It's 34. So, weapon damage is only the non-armor piercing value. So, when using Transmutation of Lead, Remember, you do not need to overcast it on armor-piercing units. If you're fighting a lot of units that do not do a lot of armor-piercing damage, then you can overcast it. But if you are fighting armor-piercing units, just single cast it. Alright. So now that we got that little announcement out of the way, now that we know how to use that ability correctly, he's going to be dropping a Fate of Buna on the weird spawn here, which, you know, might not be a terrible choice. They are unbreakable, they do have armor sundering, and they do cause fear. So over here we just collapsed on those Cynagors. Of course, the Ungor Spearman herd were no match for basically anything there. Now we got one big monster match over here of units, of Vestigor units that can't hit a thing. Now that transmutation of lead has finally gone off, they will be able to start doing some damage over here again. So as you can see, he came back in with the Sons of Gorus, got a pretty good charge on us, but at this point we're just absolutely destroying his infantry ball up here. The monster's infantry is showing no mercy. Trolls are good against Vestigor herd. The Chaos Spawn are going to be good against these particular units. Well, they'll be good against the Ungor herd. And the fact that the Koroks Man Rippers in here is pretty tough, but you know, we got a very monster match build here. So he's coming in with his Sons of Goros. I'm going to follow up with the Chaos Spawn, as well as Sarthril, the Everwatcher here. And just look at these, look at these beast fight. You only get this kind of thing in Warhammer. What other game do you see something like this? We got trolls, we got humans, we got these weird humanoid deformed, who the hell knows? And we got Cynagors here and a giant bird person just flying all around. This game is beautiful. Warhammer is beautiful. I think I did not know Warhammer existed before Total War Warhammer came out. The thing. So, pretty easy win here, guys. He does get a good charge on my horsemen, as I'm not really paying attention, feeling that I have the game in the bag at this point. And I'll admit that's something I do sometimes. Kind of a bitch in that way. But yeah, we are just running over all his forces. Not even the Vestigor. I mean, these guys still do a lot of damage, even if a lot of it does get... Oh, and you know what? It looks like he actually had the Butchers of Kalkengard in the forest that he forgot. Now, this definitely could have helped him. I don't think it would have changed the course of the game, though. One thing to notice about the Butchers of Kalkengard, when you might be thinking they might be weak to my Marauder Horse Masters, these guys actually have silver shields and regeneration. So these guys are incredibly tanky. We're going to be throwing down another transmutation of lead. And, you know, they're doing quite well. How much? 60 melee defense. Holy cow. Man, these guys are no joke. 60 melee defense. Let's see. Melee attack is down to 14 on the Vestigor, so which is pretty good. Only 17 on these guys. We're gonna bring our Marauder Horsemen back here to start throwing at them, even though they have silver shields, just from a lack of anything else to really shoot at. All right. If he had these earlier in the battle, like I said, it could have helped. I don't think it would have won it for him, but I could be wrong about that. Butchers of Kalkengard are an extremely strong unit. It is possible he would have been able to break through the line and then come in for a rear charge somewhere. That could have been pretty good. Look, he gets another sneaky charge on my Marauder Horse Masters. As you can see, I split them up into two different groups, and as they run away, they throw chaplains at the Sons of Gorus here. So now we just have old poor Morker the Shadow Gabe with his Chaos Spawn, and Butchers of Kalkengard just doing their thing over here. As you can see, now we got cow people up in this mix too. We got bird people, we got cow people, we got trolls, we got monstrosities, we got regular people, all kinds of things. Not to mention the goat people too. Can't forget them. So here's something to note. There is a bug with Morker's Chaos Spawn summons that they all summon in the exact same spot and cannot move. It can only attack in this one little area. So that's definitely a bug. Hopefully CA sees this. I'll try to mention it on the forums, but honestly I'll probably forget. But yeah, that's definitely a bug that often makes some Chaos Spawn completely useless. And the Beastmen are a strong faction, but they I say they're in a pretty good place right now. Obviously, we haven't done our Beastmen review yet, but I'd say the Beastmen are in a pretty good place as the moment. So right here, these Blitz Chaos Spawn are going to be the last thing there. My opponent's going to go ahead and concede defeat. Alright, so we have Sarthril over here with 52 attacks. The Marauders did pretty good. Marauders are great weapons, and meh. Marauder Horsemen and Horsemasters, as y'all seen throughout the Chaos Week, invaluable units. Gotta bring them. Gotta bring them. At least 2 in every army. And the Chaos Spawn did okay. The Trolls, I really prefer Trolls to Chaos Spawn. They just seem to do a lot more, and so they keep on coming back too. So yeah, not too jazzed on the Chaos Spawn. I would skip them most of the time. Like I said, you might be able to get away with them against Beastmen and Skaven. Anyway, guys, that's just a quick update on those units. Thanks for watching. This is Jonathan for Total Brohammer, signing out.